Hey guys, me again. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my favorite and least favorite tropes in fiction. And I've read a lot of young adult thriller and mystery, so that's definitely going to influence the type of tropes that I talk about. Okay, I guess let's start with the ones that I actually like. Some of these might be controversial. Number one, the memory loss, fuzzy past, amnesia trope. I actually really like this one where the character can't remember something in their past, usually an event that's very important to the story. Some people don't like this one because they think it's kind of a cheap and easy way to create a mystery from the very beginning. Like, oh, the character can't remember what happened conveniently. But I actually think this trope can be done really well. I think it's just a matter of if it fits with the character. If your character is otherwise completely normal and you use this trope, I can see it being more of a problem. But I think this trope really works as long as there's something else going on with your character, whether that's drug use or something being off about the character. I think things like that can make them not remembering a big event seem more fitting. Books that I think do this really well are We Were Liars, the first one, and I Killed Zoe Spanos. Okay, next one is unreliable narrator. I love an unreliable narrator. I love a really voicey first person book with an unreliable narrator. A really great one is A Danger to Herself and Others. It's so fun to read this book in this character's brain because she's such a unique type of person. I think if done right, this can make for a really, really good book. Okay, next I wrote Enemies to Lovers, and I don't really read romance. I don't even know if I've really come across this trope a ton, but I just really like the idea of it. For some reason, the best example that I can think of is Shrek. They're not exactly enemies, but Shrek and Fiona do not get along when they first meet. They both have completely different motives and they just clash, and then they kind of realize that they have a lot in common and they end up liking each other. I love the development of a relationship like that. Even enemies to friends is something that I enjoy to see in a book. I mean, it doesn't have to be like mortal enemies, but characters who don't get along and then develop a friendship or relationship is definitely something I'm a fan of. Next, boarding school thrillers. I don't know what it is about young adult mystery and thrillers, but there's so many boarding school thrillers that have to do with murder. I think it's because boarding schools are just a fun and interesting setting. A boarding school has a little bit more forced proximity than a regular school because there's usually dorms involved. And there's also that kind of rich people vibe about a boarding school that can make something just fun to read. Though I won't pick up a book just because it's set in a boarding school or anything, I do love a good boarding school murder mystery. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my least favorite. The first one, love triangles. I think this is an obvious one. I think a lot of people don't like this one. It's specifically bad when it's a girl, usually a girl trying to choose between two guys that she likes, and that's the whole purpose for the love triangle, is she's just trying to choose. Examples of this are like Twilight and Hunger Games. I never read either of those, but I have seen some of the movies, so I know what's going on there. I think the love triangle aspect of it is just so boring and stupid, honestly. It just exists to like add some drama to the plot, but the drama isn't even good. It's just like stupid and not relatable and not fun. I think it can be done when, like, say a love triangle escalates to murder or something like that, when there's really complicated relationships between three people or more. I think a complicated love situation can definitely be interesting, but when the sole purpose is like one person trying to choose who they're going to date, I think that's incredibly boring. Does anybody actually like that one, by the way? Because I know that's a very hated one, and I'm curious if anybody actually enjoys that one. I would love to hear about it. The next one I wrote down is insta-love, when two characters just instantly love each other. There's not really like a build-up there. I, again, don't read a lot of romance. I don't know if I've seen this done a ton, but just like hearing about this trope annoys me. If there's gonna be romance in a book, it has to be really believable for me. It even annoys me when like our main character has a crush on someone. that they've met like twice, and I'm not really feeling like the chemistry or the reason for the crush. Even just that annoys me. So you can imagine that two characters instantly being in love with each other after like meeting 2 times would really not be a good read for me. Next is a miscommunication trope. This is where basically a big conflict can be solved if two characters would just speak to each other and communicate properly. I feel like it's just an easy way to move the plot forward, to make characters like mishear each other or just not communicate, and it's frustrating as a reader to see that when they could like just talk to each other. Next, I don't really know what to call this trope, but a character who just had a family member die before starting the book. I feel like it's kind of just an easy way to give them character and to make them interesting. I'm not going to put down a book if I see this, but it's something that I think is a little overdone maybe. Maybe just like the character with the tragic past in general trope. I just feel like there are other ways you can make your character interesting, that's all. Okay, that's it for now. If I think of more of these, I can make a part 2. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree, and let me know some tropes that you love or hate. I'm really curious to know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.